As hairdressers, we all understand why it is important to have an established core of classic haircuts that work across all lengths and textures. With this in mind, Tony and Guy created the original Classic Cuts video collection. This has played a major part in the educational program that has helped establish our worldwide reputation. At Tony and Guy, we are constantly inspired by contemporary fashion trends and reflect these in our annual collections. Now we have also revised our basic techniques and present a second collection of classic cuts, which, as well as updating the original cuts, have added a men's collection and a guide to personalizing techniques. This collection of videos and the accompanying step-by-step book will provide you with a solid foundation in the skills of modern haircutting and color. Classic Cuts 2 from Tony and Guy.
The one-length cutting technique is used to create a square one-level line that falls below the shoulder. A profile parting is taken from the center of the forehead to the center of the nape, using the wide teeth of the comb. Diagonal forward sections are taken from the occipital to the back of the ear. Section depth is determined by hair density. The denser the hair, the finer the section. With the head slightly forward, the hair is combed to natural fall using the fine teeth of the comb to maximize tension. Keeping the profile parting in place, the line is cut square, holding the hair in the comb from the profile to the outer edge. The opposite side is then worked in piecemeal, from the profile to the outer edge. Check balance. With denser hair, you would continue with another diagonal forward section, which would be cut in the same manner following the original guideline. Here, however, we are moving on to the next section, a horseshoe, which is taken slightly diagonally forward to encourage over-directed distribution and a square line. With the head upright, the hair is combed to the natural fall and directed back behind the shoulder. Maintain the profile parting and, holding the hair in the wide teeth of the comb to minimize tension, the line is cut to exactly the same length as the existing guideline. The other side is worked in the same way, starting from the profile and piecemealed to the outside edge. balance is checked both technically and visually. Horseshoe sections, which are taken on a slight diagonal forward angle, are continued up the head using the same technique as before. The last section is taken as the profile parting is reached. Be aware of crown movement. If growth pattern is particularly strong, work with minimum tension. Check balance. The cut is now finished and the hair is ready for blow drying. Use a flat brush, drying the nape hair first, so as this will safeguard against lying dry hair on top of wet, and build a smoother finish. A T-section colouring technique was used on this one-length cut. This technique can be viewed on our classic colouring series. One-length recap. Partings and sections move from a profile into a diagonal forward, into horseshoe. The distribution moves from natural fall into over-directed. Elevation is 0 degrees, held in the comb, and the line is cut square. Is an essential part of the Toni and Guy philosophy. Texturizing techniques are used to adapt classic shapes to suit the individual. On the last video in this series, we introduced techniques such as point cutting, slicing, brick cutting, and razoring, which expand the classic portfolio to accommodate all lengths and textures of hair and allow the stylist to develop their creativity for the benefit of the client.